Hello everyone, happy to be here. I'm Jen, of course, and this is going to be a beginner yoga class, the first one in our series of beginner yoga classes. So I'm going to do a 4-week series throughout June, every Monday at 6 p.m. And you can join one, you can join all 4, and I'll just help you set up a home yoga practice. It's great for anyone who is a beginner and never tried yoga before. Since we're all home, it's a great opportunity to try new things. And let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. Let me unmute myself. There we go. You can hear me now. Okay, great. So since we're all home, it's a great opportunity to try new things. So the theme of today is to have a beginner's mind. So the idea of a beginner's mind is great as a tool to put you back into the flow, especially when things are uncertain. Life is ultimately uncertain no matter what, especially right now. So having this beginner's mind allows you to have a clean slate, almost like a child. You can be open to all possibilities and you don't have any preconceptions. You can let go of any judgment, and that's what I'm going to invite us to do in our practice today. I recommend some props. They're not required, but can definitely help you out. So if you have 2 blocks, blocks are great. You could also use pillows, and for today you might want to have either a pillow or a blanket is really great. And we're going to start seated, so you can sit on your blanket or one of your props. Go ahead and head on over to your mat. I'm going to sit on my blanket. Elevate your seat, lifting the hips up. Lengthen your spine. Sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders up, back and down a few times. And sigh it out through your mouth. Allow your eyes to close. And just connecting inward with your breath. We'll find Ujjayi pranayama, in and out of the nose. Louder. Okay. So with the lips closed, start to lengthen the breath in and out of the nose. And it's almost like you're saying ha, but with the lips closed. So it's almost like this little sigh as you breathe in and out. And just start to find the natural rhythm and pace of your breath. There might be little gaps in between the inhales and exhales. And then you might begin to blend the inhale and the exhale, so it all sounds like one. And again, a beginner's mind with this. Just letting it show up however it is, no judgment. If you've done this before, you don't have to compare to how you've done it in the past. And this can be a source of meditation, of concentration, just breathing in and out of the nose in this way. So through this beginner yoga series, I'm going to be teaching a few different pranayamas or breathing techniques. And the first one for this week is Ujjayi. So see if you can keep this breath going throughout class. And it's okay if you forget about it. You can always bring your attention back to the breath if you forget. I mean, that's the practice. You're going to strengthen that focus. You can bring hands over your heart. Feel in for your own heartbeat. So these 2 things, your breath, your heartbeat, can always be there for you. And our yoga practice can be as simple as that. It's about connecting inward, connecting back to these different layers of ourself, our energetic body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our physical body as well. We'll be going through a series of asanas, which is the movement part of the practice. And asana is a Sanskrit word translated to mean a posture, or to take a seat, But it also can be translated to mean connecting to a cosmic vibration. And that's that unification of these layers of yourself, to feel that cosmic pulse, that energy, and to feel at one with it. And we'll make that pulsation, that energy, through the vibration of Om. We'll start by taking a deep inhale. Open your mouth and sigh. And then inhale for Om. Om. Release your hands down. Open your eyes if they're closed. And we're going to start in a tabletop position. So that'll be on hands and knees. And place your prop to the side. Set yourself up on all fours. So one of the fundamentals of my practice is the 6 movements of the spine. And I try to incorporate these movements into every practice and this movement into every day. So the first 2 movements are going to be arching and rounding, or you might know this as cat and cow. Begin by arching. So lift your chest, your chin. This is our cow pose. So you're lifting your tailbone, you're drawing the shoulder blades back and down. I'm lifting my chin, stretching the front of the throat, opening up through the belly. And take a nice deep breath here. Find that ujjayi breath in and out of your nose. This is a spinal extension, stretching the front body. And then we'll find a contraction or a rounding of the spine. You can think C curve. So tucking the tailbone under, tuck your chin, look inward, press the ground away, spread your shoulder blades, dome through the upper back. You can stay here for a breath. And then continue on your own, moving in between these 2 places, arching and rounding. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And then come back to a neutral position. So the hips feel in line with the shoulders, one straight line in your spine. Or we'd call this the dandasana in the spine, a staff pose. So you can think of that length. And so now we're going to be doing side bending, right and left. So in this tabletop position, it's almost like you're just bringing your right ear to your right shoulder, kind of tilting your head to the side. And then you contract and bring your right shoulder towards your right hip. And I'll turn to the front so maybe you get a little visual here. I'm bringing my right ear to the right shoulder and the right shoulder to the right hip. So the right side body is contracting and the left side body is lengthening. I'm pulling my left hip back, stretching the space between the left side of my ribs and the hip. Take one more deep breath. And then come back to center, so now your spine is straight. We're just going to take it to the other side. So I'm looking straight at the ground here, just bringing the left ear to my left shoulder, kind of like I'm tilting my head to the side, and then contracting the left shoulder towards the left hip. So this time the left side is contracting, the right side is lengthening, and you can think about pulling your right hip back in space to make a little bit more length. One more full breath in, and a long breath out. And then inhale as you come back to center. We'll take it to the other side again. We'll do one more each way. You can side bend to the right, pulling your left hip back, come back to center, and then side bend to the left. And come back to center. Okay, so that was 4 different movements. We had arching and rounding, side bending right and left, and then there's just 2 more, twisting right and left. So with your hands planted firmly on the ground, just sweep your right arm up to the sky. Find a twist here, breathing in. And then place the right hand down to the mat. We'll just switch to the other side. Left arm sweeps up and open. And exhale the left hand down. Keep moving through. Inhale it up. And exhale it down. merging with your breath. We unite these layers of ourself, our breath body and our physical body, in our yoga practice, as well as our mind, our intention. That unification in this asana practice can help unite you to that cosmic pulsation, or the spanda, universal pulse. So we'll come back to center, and we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog. So take my socks off. You can curl your toes under. This might be a pose that's brand new to you, or is something that's very familiar. But we're going to approach it with a beginner's mind. So as we enter down dog, spread your fingers really wide, curl the toes under, and then press into your hands as you lift the hips up and back. And I'm pressing my chest towards my thighs. And you can start with the knees bent, and then begin to lift the hips even more and lengthen the heels towards the floor. And maybe move around here for a few breaths. Some movement as you settle into the shape. It's also the beginning of practice, so the feeling of down dog might shift and change throughout our class. Notice what it feels like to breathe here, the quality of your breath. And then see if you can deepen. Maybe take a few sighs through the mouth, letting it go. And then slowly, you can bend your knees, take your time, lots of steps. So walk the feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. And I'm widening my feet here, keeping the knees bent. Always an option if you want to put your hands on blocks or any kind of surface, a cushion or a chair. If your hamstrings or legs are feeling really tight, this can be a great way to bring a little more ease so you can release into the pose or let the muscles relax into the stretch. And of course, you can always put your hands on the mat if that feels good. So always remember to check in. Everything is optional. So if you need to rest at any point, if you need to lay down, take a break, nothing's forced. Do it with intention and a curiosity of that beginner's mind. And so you can have your hands on your props, or you could have hands on your shins. We're going to lift and find a flat back. And when I say flat back, you want to find length in your spine. So the tailbone, which is right at the base of your sacrum, is lengthening towards the back of the mat. And then your heart center, or you can think of the crown of the head, lengthening towards the top of the mat. So your spine is stretching in both directions. You can hug your low belly in towards your spine so you have that abdominal support. And take a deep breath here. Inhale. And then fold forward over the legs. Exhale. And we'll do that again. So your hands can be on the props or on your shins, flat back. Breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Take that a few more times on your own. Feeling that length in your spine. And then releasing. One more. We'll meet in a forward fold. Then you can use your hands on your legs. Feel the navel hug in so there's core support as you come all the way up to stand. And once you're standing, have your feet nice and wide. You can keep your knees bent, and I'll just face forward so you can see one of my favorite warm-ups called empty coat sleeves. So you want to imagine your arms are nice and loose, and you're just twisting from side to side. And you can give yourself a little gentle massage with your hands, a little pat on your kidneys and lower back. And the opposite heel can pick up off the mat as you twist, looking over your shoulder. So you really want to feel this rotation in the spine. And we're coming back to our 6 movements of the spine. And in yoga, they say, heard this said, if you have a healthy spine, that's the determination of your age, how healthy your spine is. So finding a full range of mobility. And you can add the breath here. You can inhale, and then exhale out the mouth. Ha, 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 So you're all home in your house, so no one will think you're that weird, except maybe the people who already think you're weird that you live with. So you can make a little bit of noise, get into your breath, right? Combining that movement with the breath. A few more moments here. And then slowing it down. You can look at the ground so you don't lose your balance. Finding stillness. And take a deep breath. So we had our twisting. Interlace your fingers. And then press the palms away. And I'll turn to the side so you can really feel the rounding of the spine. This is our contraction, rounding, tailbone tucking under, almost like that cat pose we did earlier. You feel the spreading through the shoulder blades and the upper back. And then reach your arms up overhead and just find a nice long spine. So reaching up really, really tall, lifting all the way up out of your waist. And then sweep the arms around behind you. And see if you can either interlace your fingers, right? You could grab opposite elbows. If you have a towel or a strap, you could also use a strap to open up the shoulders. So this is like counter stretch to the rounding. Now we're arching and opening up through the chest and the front body. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then release. Okay. And then lastly, side bending. Reach your arms up overhead. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Lengthen up to go over to the side, lateral side bend. Take a deep breath here. And then come back up to center. Switch your grip. Think about lengthening up as you go over to the other side. Deep breath. And then lengthen back up. Take a full breath as you reach up and arms out to the side and down. Great. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, we'll fold forward over the legs. You can swan dive if you need to bend your knees or even walk your hands down the legs. Totally fine. Forward fold. And then take that flat back, so lengthen as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. We're going to walk to downward facing dog. So walk your feet back. Take a deep breath. And come into that beginner's mind without judgment, without expectation of how down dog was for you before. No comparison. Just presence to what's there. And then reach your right leg up to the sky. It's a three-legged dog. Really press into your hands here. Right, try not to collapse in the shoulders. Lift the leg up as high as you can. Take a deep breath. And then draw the knee in towards your chest. And place the foot forward. And you can always help yourself out. You can grab onto your ankle and step it forward. And we're finding a low lunge. Again, you might like some props here. That's always a great way to bring the ground a little closer to you. Start to bend your front knee. Sink your hips a little bit down. Reach through the back heel. Lift your chest up. So you feel that kind of arching, right? Like cow pose. You're opening up the front body. Inhale. And start to straighten the front leg. Lift your hips, a little fold forward. Exhale. That's it. Rebend the front knee. We're going to twist. So left hand down. And you can use the block here. You can use your prop. Reach the right arm up. Maybe circling. You can always put the back knee down here as well. So there's always options to make it a little less intense or more intense. And then place your right hand down. And move the blocks to the side. We'll meet in a tabletop position. So come onto your hands and knees. And think about that Dandasana in your spine. It's a staff pose, the length from the tailbone all the way out through the crown of the head. And we'll do a few tricep push-ups. So when you're doing these Chaturanga push-ups, rather than having the elbows go out to the side, you want the elbows to point straight back. Gaze forward and try to hug the elbows in towards the sides of your body and press back up. And you don't have to go super low. It could be right here or it could be to 90 degrees, but no lower than 90. And a few more like this. Make sure you're breathing. And if anytime you want to lift your knees, you can always do a full plank. But you want to focus on the form and alignment more than anything else. So take another deep breath. And then come all the way down to the mat. And take a little break here. Lay on your mat. You can rock your hips from side to side. And we'll do Cobra pose. So when you're doing Cobra pose, there's a few different ways to do your Cobra. We'll start with baby Cobra. Hands by the ribs. Again, hug the elbows in. Draw your shoulder blades back and down. And then try to press your pubic bone, or the front of your pelvis, down to the mat as you lift your heart up. And I'm grounding through my feet and legs as well. So the tops of the feet are pressing down. And I'm just looking down the tip of the nose. Back of the neck, nice and long. Take a deep breath. And then press through your tabletop position, so hands and knees. And when you're practicing, if down dog at any point is too much, come to hands and knees. Otherwise, we'll meet up in downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up. And then lift the left leg to the sky. Three-legged dog. Spread your fingers. Lengthen the sides of the body by pressing your hands into the mat. No effort goes to waste. Just notice here your connection to the floor. One more breath. And then draw the knee in towards your chest. Place the foot between your hands. Remember, you can always help it forward. Maybe you grab your blocks here. So in our low lunge, you can really bend into the front knee. This will be a nice stretch. Reaching through the back heel, and that cow pose, lifting the chest. So there's these elements of the movement of the spine that come back in our asana. And then rounding forward as you straighten the leg, letting the forehead drop down. And then bend the front knee again. Reach through the back heel, let the hips sink down. And we'll twist. Right hand can come to a block or to the floor. Left arm reaches up. I did some circling on the other side. Just a reminder, you can always put the back knee down. Sometimes we need those reminders that modifying is an option. It's always there for you. And then placing the left hand down on the mat. So we're going to meet up in that plank pose, where you can always modify the plank, or you can keep the knees lifted. Take a deep breath in. And then just lower where you can with control. Hold there. Take another full inhale. And then lower all the way down to the mat. Okay, so speaking of beginner's mind, I learned a brand new pose this morning. And I'll be a beginner in teaching it to you, but it's a really cool pose called Salamander. So it's kind of like a twisted Cobra pose. You can take your hands wide to the edges of the mat, rise up into your Cobra pose. You can rise up any amount. You're going to bend your right knee and turn to the right and look over your right shoulder. Flex your feet, press through your left foot. Bring your left side of your belly towards the top of the mat. Lengthening your spine as much as you can, pulling forward with the front body and lengthening back in the legs. And move your awareness around this new shape, beginner's mind. And then we'll come back to center. So you can come back, gaze forward, and then look over your left shoulder. Bend the left knee, flex your feet, lengthen the right side of your belly towards the top of the mat, and press back through your right heel. One more deep breath in our salamander. And then coming back to center. Inhale. Lower down to the mat as you exhale. Hands under your shoulders, press up through table. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. We're going to walk to the top of the mat. Completing our little sun salutation. Flat back, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. And then rise up to stand. You can reach your heart out in front of you. Lift your arms up. Breathe in. And hands by your side as you breathe out. Okay. Inhale the arms up. Exhale and fold forward over your legs. Body and breath moving together. Inhale, lift your heart, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And bring your hands down to the mat and slip the right leg back behind you. You're going to seal the right heel down. The right toes are turned in and the left toes are pointed straight forward. And we'll rise up and find warrior two. Bend into the front knee and watch that the front knee is straight over the front toes. And you're not caving inward, but you're opening up that left hip and left knee. And then actively pressing into a back leg, the straight back leg. Bring your left elbow to your left thigh and your right hand to your right hip. And begin to roll the right side of your body towards the ceiling. Reach the right arm up towards the sky. So this is our side angle pose. Breathing in and out for one. And that beginner's mind can have a sense of play, a new relation to pleasure and what's enjoyable, what can be fun or entertaining. So just getting really curious about this shape and what's showing up for you. As you breathe, can you move the awareness around your body and notice what your feet are feeling, the energy moving up through the legs, through the torso and the side waists, the elbows, your fingertips. And can you relax your head and your face? And then reach the right arm up and over your right ear. Take a deep breath in. And then cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Drop the back knee down. So standing on your right knee, you can come up, lift the chest, and bring hands to your hips. Really thinking of that Dandasana to lengthen the spine. Right, that's that straight spine. Reach your right arm up. Take a full breath in. And then cut the right forearm across to the outside of your left thigh. So we're coming into a twist. Your twist can be very gentle. You could stay right here, or you can start to slide the right forearm down your thigh, hooking the elbow. And I'm just going to turn to the other side so you can see. My palms are pressing, and the elbows are really wide. I'm not letting my elbows collapse, but they're pressing, so I'm using the structure of my body to open up in this twist. And see if you can take 3 deep breaths. A lot of time in the twist, that's when our breath ends up getting stuck. So keep your awareness there, moving it through. One more moment. Great. And then release your hands down. And we'll step back to downward facing dog. And just take a walk to the top of the mat. Flat back, lengthening as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. You can bring your hands to the mat. We're just going to take the other side, so the left leg steps back this time. And everything is built from the ground up, so think about your feet. First, since we're coming into side angle, you're going to press the left heel down. The back heel is down. Toes are turned in slightly. And the right toes point straight forward. And then once you're set up in the feet, back leg straight, front knee bent, tracking over the front big toes. Do this little check-in all the way from the ground up. Hips even. And then lengthen the torso forward as you rest the right elbow on the right thigh. And you don't want to be dumping into the thigh and letting your upper body collapse. Right, so keep the support here, lifting through the right side body and lengthening out through the crown of the head. Reach your left arm up. So you're not rounding forward, but there is this sense of opening up the left side body and almost kind of leaning back. All these standing poses are a way to connect to grounding. How are you connected to the earth? And how can you rise up out of that? Reach the left arm up and over your left ear. Take another full breath in. And circle the left arm down. Hands are going to frame your foot. Bring the left knee down. And then lift the chest up. You can start with the hands on your hips. And that can be a sense of grounding, feeling the evenness in your hips, steady. From here, reach the left arm up. Try to grow really, really tall. Lift up on the inhale, and then begin to twist to the right as you exhale. Bringing the forearm to the outside of the thigh, or maybe sliding down and bringing the elbows together. And again, I'll turn to face you here. Take 2 more deep breaths. Can you notice how Ujjayi breath feels? That in and out of the nose, pranayama. And pranayama is Sanskrit for breath control. Prana being the breath or life force energy. So stay connected to that. Hands to the mat. You can come back to either table or downward facing dog. We'll make our way to the top of the mat. Flat back, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. And rise all the way up, inhale. Hands by your side, exhale. Okay, so we have about 2 more standing poses, and then we're going to take it down to the mat. Triangle pose. Start by stepping the right foot back behind you. So the toes are turned in slightly, and my left toes are pointed directly forward. Building it from the ground up, lifting up through the kneecaps so the legs are really engaged. My thighs are engaged here. And then reach the arms forward and back. Start to lengthen the left side body. And that left hip is cutting under. Reaching the tailbone back. Lengthen, reach, and then float your left hand down wherever it lands. So it could land on your left thigh. It could land on your shin. Another option is to place a block behind your left foot. Try to avoid rounding forward. It's not a forward fold. So if your left hand has to be a little bit higher, but you can find more space to roll the right side body open and lean back, then that's a success. And in this pose especially, I feel my legs working so much to support. So, feel that energy, that stira, which is Sanskrit for strength, and sukha, which is Sanskrit for ease, and the ease is your breath. Right? Try to focus on that ease and the flow of the breath, even as maybe you're in an uncomfortable place, which is a place of growth. So lean into that for 3. Keep breathing for 2. And 1. Reach the right arm up and over your ear. We're going to bring our hands down to the mat. And turn your right toes in. We're going to find pyramid pose. Blocks, really great here. I have a block on the inside of my left foot. Or you can have it on maybe the highest setting. You can put your hands on a chair or a pillow, cushion, blanket, whatever you need. Just fold forward. So pyramid pose, my hips are more square. Left hip pulling back. You can always bend the front knee if you need to. Right, maybe pulse it, bend and straight, bend and straight. So you're just slowly going into it. Nice work. You're going to step to the top of the mat and just fold over the legs here. Flat back as you breathe in. Fold as you breathe out. Rise and reach up on the inhale. Hands by your side. Okay, so we're going to take the other side, stepping the left foot back. So I'll be facing you. If you use a block on the first side, you can use a block here. Set it up so you're ready. And then just take a look at your feet. I often do this through my practice, is just a check-in. How do my feet look right now? Right toes are pointed straight forward. And you also want to feel your right thigh wrapping open. So if you ever want to bring your right hand to your right thigh and kind of just roll the thigh open, that can be a nice reminder to externally rotate through the hip. And I like to reach the arms forward and back, and then really reach the right arm forward so you're feeling that length. Again, cutting the right hip under, and then wherever your right hand lands, where you can create space. It can be on the thigh, shin, or block. Think about the bottom ribs, the right side of your ribs, wrapping forward, and the left ribs, the top ribs, rolling back, almost leaning back. For 3, for 2, and 1. Reach the left arm over your left ear. Take a deep breath. And then circle the hand down. Now you're going to square off your hips. So pick up your back foot, move it out to the left side, and turn the toes in. Place the block or the prop on the inside of your right foot, and then allow yourself to fold forward. And again, if you need to bend the front knee, maybe you're pulsing in and out of it, this is a very intense stretch for the whole back of the legs, whole back side of the body. So take one more deep breath. Nice work. And we'll release. We're going to come into a tabletop position. And just find a little cat and cow here. Arching and rounding. Arching and rounding. And then maybe moving any way that would feel good for you. So you can move your ribs, you can move your hips, your shoulders, your head. You can bend your elbows, maybe even close your eyes. A little free flow. One more breath. We're going to do what's called a half puppy pose. So bend your left forearm, you can place that on the mat, and then extend out through your right arm. And I'm resting my head on the forearm or wherever it lands. The hips are lifted in the air, so this is a big front body opening, stretching through the shoulder and the chest. And try to just soften here a little bit more for 3, 2, and 1. And then coming back up, we're going to do a counter stretch. So we just arched, and now we're going to round. So press the ground away, dome through the upper back, spread your shoulder blades like an angry cat on Halloween. One more breath. Okay, great. So we'll take half puppy pose on the other side. It's a spinal extension. Lengthen through the left arm. You can bend the right elbow. And then begin to melt towards the floor. And just notice wherever you're feeling sensation. Notice the difference between anything that's painful or just a stretch. Know where your edge is. You're never going to force it or push it too far. And if you don't know if it's pain or just a stretch, then back off. Err on the side of caution. One more breath. And then we're going to take our counter stretch, that cat pose, rounding the spine. One more time. Dome through the upper back. Okay. So we're going to move into a few more restorative yin poses and a cool down. And you're going to use a prop. You could use a bolster or a block. I'm going to show it with a blanket. So I have my blanket here, and I'm just going to roll up. I have it folded, so I'm going to roll it up. my blanket roll kind of towards the top of the mat. It's going to go in between the shoulder blades. We're going to do this passive heart opening, or almost like a supported fish pose. So you want to position the bolster or the blanket right in between your shoulder blades, your upper back, so you're getting that opening through the chest. You can always, move it around if it doesn't feel quite right. You can have the arms out to the side, overhead. The legs can be however you like. Feet on the floor, together, extended. And we'll find a breathing practice here. Taking a full inhale. Empty out all the air as you exhale. And then inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just keep that going. 4 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale. And slowly we're going to release. So you can take your time, maybe roll to one side or use your forearms to lift yourself up. Okay, and we have 2 more restorative poses, which will be a side bend. So continuing that movement of our spine, theme of today's class. I'm going to start on my left side. So I have the bolster or the roll. You could also do this with a block. You want to have your hip on one side of the prop, and then I'm laying the side body. The ribs, the bottom portion of my ribs can come onto the prop, and I can stay up on the forearm to start. I'm going to split the legs, so the right leg is forward, the left leg is back. And this can be enough. Maybe this is quite intense for you, so stay here. And we always have options. If you want to go a little further, extend your left arm, lay your head down, and the right arm will come up and over. So you get that intense side stretch. Taking a full breath in, a full, complete breath out. And then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that going. Inhale for 4. Mentally to yourself. Exhale for 4. Few more breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back out. I'm just going to take it to the other side. So switch. So I'm facing you. You have your blanket, your roll, your bolster, your prop to lay over. The hip is on one side. The ribs lift up and over. And then the legs split. Left leg forward, right leg back. You can stay here, or you can lay down. Feel that lengthening. Maybe bring the left arm up and over. And then come into that even breath, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. And this is called Samavriti Pranayama, so you get a bonus breathing exercise today. And I'll be emailing everyone in class regarding what we've done so that you can continue to practice for the rest of the week and remember these things in your own home life practice and day. Using these tools to find a little more relaxation into that flow. Beginner's mind and state of presence. Slowly releasing and coming back up. Okay. And just place your prop to the side. We're going to lay down on the back. Or lay down on your back, the back. So lay down on your back. We're going to set up for a bridge pose. In bridge pose, you want your feet to be at a comfortable distance. Usually if you can brush your heels with your fingertips, that should be good. You just don't want them to be too far out because they won't be in alignment to really lift and support you. So now my feet are underneath the knees, nice and stacked where I want them to be. And just take a deep breath in and a long breath out. As you begin to lift your hips into bridge pose, begin to lift your arms as well. So the hips are lifting up, your arms are lifting up, and your arms lift all the way up and over. Reach your arms all the way towards the back of the mat, lengthening through the armpits. Breathe in. And then together, lower your hips and lower the arms down by your side. Let everything land together. And we're going to continue like that. So inhale, the hips lift, the arms lift. And then exhale, the hips lower, the arms lower. Take it at your own pace. It's like a little moving meditation, coordinating the hips and the arms as well as your breath. You can feel this flow, the pulsation, that cosmic energy, uniting the different layers of yourself, your attention to move together with the body and the breath. And whenever that's complete, we'll meet with the hands by your side, hips on the floor. A bound angle position, Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees apart. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly. And notice your breathing here. With a fresh mind, free of expectations, the breath doesn't need to be any particular way. But just a level of awareness, a moment to pause and notice. And giving ourselves that space to notice and to integrate. So important. When things come up, allowing ourselves to process them and move through it. Pause and notice rather than moving away. And you can bring your knees together. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers on top of your right shin. And then lengthen your left leg out. Really hug the right knee in towards your chest. If this is too much, you can always keep your left leg bent. And your spine is lengthening on the floor. Another deep breath. And then we'll switch to the other side. So draw the left knee in. You can either place right foot on the floor or lengthen it out. Hug the knee in as tightly as you can. My fingers are really interlaced as well. It's really good for the joints of your fingers to kind of interlace them like that. And this is really great for your digestive system. A great stretch to do in the morning or in the evening. Clearing out the ascending, descending colon. Just take one more deep breath. Great, and then draw both knees in. Reach your legs up towards the ceiling. And then open up your legs and bend your knees. So this is a happy baby pose. I really love the option of just wrapping the forearms around the back of your knees. It can make it really accessible. You could also bring your hands to your ankles or to the outer edges of the feet. Or you could take peace fingers to big toes. I just gave you a lot of different options, right? So choose whatever one's good for you. Or maybe try out an option and then try out another one and see how you like them. Your body's going to feel differently on different days, and I'm doing some movement here. So if you want to rock from side to side, you can move it around like a happy baby. And depending on what exercise you've done the day before, you might feel a little bit differently. And that's okay. The point is to just do the practice anyway, and to show up on your mat and do what you can. Notice, observe, and then you've really done the whole thing. Or even if you haven't done the whole thing, at least you've shown up for yourself and taken that action. So we're going to find a place of rest here. Now you have a choice. Shavasana can be really nice. I am going to hold the space for us, so you don't feel free to relax here on your back, especially if you're tired and had a long day. Others of us might prefer to be in a seated meditation. So it's really your choice. I'm going to sit in meditation and just guide you into relaxation. Take a moment to allow the physical body to settle, to get comfortable. And as I enter this relaxation, I think it's always nice to take one final deep breath in through the nose, open the mouth and sigh. And just allow your skin to soften, relaxing the muscles of the face, relaxing the jaw. Allow the lips to part, the tongue to be loose at the bottom of the mouth. And I'll read you a poem I thought really this was suiting for our beginner's mind class and this beginner yoga series as we start out in our first session. It's from a book by Dana Folds called In and In. The name of the poem is Born Again in Radiance. Who can resist the first optimistic moment of dawn? The dazzling sliver of light, sun rising, rounding, making the profound shift from promise to presence. Every possibility contained in a single instant. Light, linking us to vastness. Light, reaching back to the formation of stars. Light that will not let us forget that we are born daily again in radiance. Wherever you are, feel free to remain in relaxation. If you're on your back, you continue to stay in a seated meditation. Option to place hands over your heart center and just feel in again for that heartbeat pulse. Optionally, you can meet me seated, but of course, you can always stay on your back and relax. And connecting to that universal spanda, that universal cosmic vibration. Going to close out our session with the vibration of Om. And Om has 3 parts. The first part, Ah, U, You can really feel each part of that journey. It's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. A full story, a full class, a full lifetime, all in one sound. So we'll feel that vibration together. And we'll start by taking a breath. So full inhale through your nose. And then open the mouth and sigh. And then inhale for Om. Om. yourself to receive that vibration, whether internally or externally. Whenever you're ready, releasing this practice and bringing yourself back into the moment, and knowing that we're all home, feel free to keep relaxing. I feel like I always sleep through every Shavasana and miss the end of the class. But little PSA, thank you so much for joining me, and those that were registered for this class will receive the recording and some bonus materials about the things that we discussed today, some really valuable resources on beginner's mind. A favorite quote will be in there, which is a beginner has many possibilities and an expert has few. So I'll send you that recap as well as the 6 movements of the spine and some updates about what we'll be doing over the course of the next 3 weeks in this beginner yoga series. So feel free to invite anyone that you know that think might benefit from this. You might not be a beginner yourself, but as I mentioned at the beginning of this practice, this is a really wonderful tool, a wonderful mindset that you can take when you're trying to overcome a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowing. A beginner's mindset makes you feel okay with not knowing, to be in that unknowing mind and in that discomfort. Ultimately there is so much uncertainty. We do need to have some control, but there's a limit to how much we can have, and so being able to employ these tools will hopefully benefit you, and that's really my goal. So please message me and let me know if you have any questions. I am going to be here on the Zoom call for a few more moments if anyone wants to speak, and thanks to anyone who tuned in live as well. I'll be doing this for the first one at least, just to kind of get the word out there so people know that it exists, and I'm here to help. Hey Eileen. And anyone here have any questions? Again, I'll be on email and stuff, so feel free to reach out. Alright, cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if anyone on the Zoom call next time wants to turn on their video or get any specific feedback from me, I'm happy to give that. Look at your practice and make you feel maybe a little less alone. It can sometimes be hard practicing alone in your space and not getting that feedback or not having someone to hold the space for you. Hey Amanda. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Hey Trisha. Jessica, hey. Yeah, so beginner yoga is going to be every Monday at 6 p.m. And so it'll be over the next 3 weeks. Next week, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the koshas, the different layers of self. We talked about 3 today, which is the physical body, the breath body, the mental body. And then there's 2 more kind of higher level ones that are a little harder to conceive. The witness body, right? A little bit different than the mind, with the ability to witness things, and then your bliss body, which is something that we're all looking to access. And we have our different layers of the practice, and we've done our asana practice, which is the movement. We've done our pranayama, which is the breath, meditation incorporated with our relaxation and breathing practices, and I'll get into more of the philosophy as we continue on. So we can dive into the yamas and niyamas, these ways to live your life and on and off the mat, so principles